Welcome to Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque, painting live on Thursday, April 8th at 7 p.m. Central Time. And this is where we paint our subscription boxes. And the box we are currently working on is our March box, which was our Hop into Spring box. And it included Nate and Nan, our Easter bunnies. And then some of you also added Edward. And Edward has free instructions on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque.com under the resource tab. Courtney will share the link for you so you can actually go right on there and print that out yourself. But otherwise, your box had instructions in for these two bunnies along with the paint list. So that's what we are working on this week yet. So we'll put those aside and grab our bunnies, but I guess first we will go and do a little quick show and tell. This is the Kinsey mountain vase or jug that I took a class about 25 years ago, and I've been looking for the mold since then, and about 3 weeks ago we finally came across it. So Courtney posted post this morning, and if you commented on it what mold you've been looking for or you'd like to find, she will put your name in a drawing at the end of tonight. We will draw, and the winner will get this bisque piece mailed to them as long as it's a shipping address in the United States. And that bisque is actually going in the kiln tomorrow. It wouldn't fit in there today, so it probably won't go out until Monday. Tuesday, Courtney says. Courtney says Tuesday. So Tuesday that bisque will go out.
I'll get it from you Tuesday, so I'll ship it Wednesday.
So Courtney says she'll get it from me on Tuesday, and it's actually going to ship on Wednesday. So it will be this piece in bisque. So if you can find that post from this morning and you want to comment on it yet, you have a little while. What piece you're looking for or what mold you've been looking for forever and ever, and this was the one I've been looking for, but now we have it, and we're going to actually give away a piece of bisque of this vase, kind of in honor of finding that mold. So this was a class. It was wet brushing, and then we did some watercoloring on the mountains and on the sky using acrylics, and then there's snow and glitter on the rocks. So that's how that class was actually done. It was a lot of fun. And then we have our current box that's being shipped this week. And I'm not even sure what we called it. Courtney, what did we call it?
I was tired, so it's called Be Happy.
Oh, so Courtney says she was tired, and she called it Be Happy, I guess because of the bees on the little fairy house. So she spelled it B-E-E, happy. So that is our box that we're shipping this week. So here are the bees that are on there. The bees, we kind of call this the front because we can see the bees from this side. But if you turn it around, you can see their butts. I actually think this is kind of more the front door for me, but that's okay too. So that is what we're shipping yet this week. We have a few more to ship out yet.
Should finish up tomorrow.
Courtney thinks she'll finish it tomorrow.
If you're waiting to hear from me, I'll be in.
And if you're waiting to hear from her, she'll be in touch. Then this was last year's fairy box that we did. It was the Dragonfly Villa. And then these two fairies, I think it was Daisy and Larkspur. So you could have added those to your box, and then we covered the shipping if you wanted. And you could always do that any month too, but this was last year's fairy house, so we kind of have a little collection going on for fairy houses. So that's kind of it for our show and tell. And of course, you can always paint those guys any colors you want to. It don't have to be the colors that I painted them. So here we have our Nan and Nate. Dry brushed as far as we got. We were working on our bunnies. We got this one to the white, and it looks like I probably was going to do this one next with the white, so we'll pick up with that. And it looks like we're probably on number 2. So I will grab some white here quick, and it's our OS 431 white. Again, OS 431 white. And it's an acrylic paint or stain. Different companies call it different, label it different, but it is acrylic paint. And then we kind of had a middle size area to brush, so I really don't want a big size 10, and I don't want a little bitty size 0 or 3. 1, that would take us forever, so we kind of went with the middle size. Let's see, what did I use? Probably this guy here, our number 5. I kind of like the number 5s. And this was a flat. You can use a flat or a round. And then I just go into the edge of my paint and then brush it out on my paper towel. And we'll do that a couple times to get the paint up in those bristles. And then we brush back and forth. And if it goes on real wet like that, that was a little too much. So I just brushed it out on the paper towel some more. And you could let your bunnies one gray and one white, or you could paint them grays, or you could paint them brown, whatever you guys want to do with them. It doesn't matter. We just paint on the lives the way they were painted for the sample, and then the way the instructions were done up. And it seems like you guys mostly actually follow the instructions, because a lot of the posts that are done the way they were painted with the instructions. I know we had a little bit of extra decorating going on our girl bunny, which was really cute on the bottom of her dress, so you guys can always feel free to do any of that stuff too. Don't think you're like tied down to doing it the way I did it. So we're just going to get a quick layer of white on here, so he's whiter. And we're just using a hog bristle brush, which is a natural hair brush. When you're dry brushing, you want to use a bit of a stiffer brush, and that would be your hog bristle or boar bristle brushes, versus the nylon or gold Taklon or the natural hair brushes, like the sables or the squirrel hair or any of that. You want the little bit stiffer boar bristle to do that, and we'll get his little hand and lighten that up a little bit. And then usually when I'm doing a new area, I like to start on the back, like on his head here, so if I got too much paint in my brush, I'm not messing up the front right off the bat. And then we're just going to kind of brush back and forth here and get him a lot whiter quick. So I hope everyone had a great week. The weather's been amazing here, kind of in the upper 70s and 80s, although I guess we're headed for a cool down to the 50s next week. Lots of flowers blooming down here by Courtney. Not so many up by me, but they are starting by me, and I'm an hour's drive north of her, so just an hour's drive makes a big difference with the weather here. So let's see. Let's see if we got any comments going on here. Let me back up and take a look. Hello from Maryland, and hello Connie, hope you're doing good. Paula, Chris, Talisa, Marie, Connie. Let me see, Jackie, Marianne, Kathleen, Judy, and Bonnie. So hope you guys are all doing good. Hope everyone had a good Easter. It was kind of a busy weekend again, and we had shop hours, and let's see what else. Went to church, heard my great nephew singing, went to my parents and checked on them, and made a batch of slip later that night so I don't run out of slip. And what else is going on? There's always something going on. Worked on your boxes, of course. And we're just grabbing our white, brushing it out on our paper towel, and you can use a paper bag or a coffee filter or an old t-shirt, whatever works for you is fine. It don't have to be the paper towel. Some people use a brown paper sack, that works fine too. It's all kind of personal preference. There's no right or wrong. I mean, could be a wrong, but it's pretty flexible, and you can kind of use what you can have access a lot of. Maybe you have a lot of coffee filters for some reason or whatever, or a lot of paper plates. Maybe you work at the paper plate factory, but all that stuff works. You just need something to brush your paint out of your brush. So you're kind of going kind of dry and kind of going a little bit wetter here just to get it done. So we can move on and get to our next box. So let's see, we have another storage unit I should be getting in the next day or two so we can move the stuff out of my living room and dining room and kitchen, so I can't wait for that. And then we can get what's in the garage moved to the storage unit and then move that stuff, the pouring stuff, into the garage. So that's probably going to be a couple busy weeks here coming up shortly before the box ships again. But it'll be nice to get the house back a little bit.
We don't get to go on vacation.
Huh?
We can't go on vacation.
Cordy says we can't go on vacation. Well, nope, vacation's going to be cleaning out the house and the garage. So we probably have about 10% of our original brown and then our gray showing through, and then the rest is mainly covered with our white. Want to get in his ears so they're a little bit lighter, but I'm letting a little bit more gray in there too, just to bring that depth into his ears. You let your darker color down in all your little crevices, and then you can go back and you want to look at it and make sure you have a nice even coverage and it's not splotty or blotchy. And if it is, you just have to do a little bit more till you lose that blotchiness or spottiness. You also want to make sure you do your bottoms. So he's looking pretty good. So let's see. From there, we are going to go to number 3, which is to dry brush her dress with purple. So we will go to purple next, which is our OS 452 purple, OS 452. And that's purple again. And we'll put a little pile on our foil, and I like to use foil because then I can just roll it up and throw it out. I don't have to stand and scrape a tile and clean that out. Okay, so we have when we look at this, again, when I decide which brush I'm going to use, so this is her little dress area. I don't want a big round 8 or 10 because I would have purple everywhere. So I'm going to go with a smaller brush. You can see that kind of fits that area better. So this is actually a size 3 flat. So you probably want a 3 or a round or a flat works fine. Grab that little bit of purple and brush it out on your paper towel. And then when your paper doesn't have much purple coming on it, we can now come to her dress. And I'm just going to brush up and down across her little collar there. And I'm not going to make big brush strokes so that I get her white all full of purple. So they're just kind of little short brush strokes back and forth, or up and down. And we'll get one layer of color in there, and then I can see I got a little bit of dress down in here, so we'll get down in there too, in between the birdhouse and the apron that she has on, and then we can come over here to her the side, and we'll do the same thing. And it's okay if you get it on the apron and on the carrot green part, because the green will cover that up once we get to the green. And we'll move right around down to her little sleeve here. And you do have to kind of turn your piece around a little bit so you can get that paint where you want it. So I don't want to do big brush strokes across the edge of her sleeve here. I'm just going to do little ones. That way I don't get her white on her little paws full of our purple. I'm not brushing really hard. I'm brushing like medium to light. And I'm just getting one layer on here first, and then we'll come back and do a few more layers. So now her arm comes around, and we want to let that shading between the arm and the bottom part of the dress. So I'm going to brush up and down across that. And then we have our carrot here, where the carrot and the dress and apron meet. So we're going to go across that so we can let that brown down in that crevice again. It's okay if you get it on the carrot, because the rust will cover that up later. So I have to turn her around again, because now I want to not get my purple all over her foot. So I'm going to kind of brush from the edge of the dress down instead of big brush strokes back and forth. And then I can go back and forth. It's just I don't want to do big strokes so that I'm getting that purple all over her white foot. So I'm kind of going to go right along the edge of this foot here. I'm letting that brown in between the foot and the dress. And we're just going to keep turning her. And that's pretty wet, so I'm going to brush that out. So Gordy says we got a couple questions, so she's going to shoot them to me, and I'll see what we can answer.
Stephanie asked, how do you decide which sections to do first?
So Stephanie asks, how do you decide which sections to do first? So when I first started our piece, when I looked at it, when I first start, I decide probably to do the lower areas first. So really the fur is lower than the dress. That way I'm not getting the dress color onto the foot color. So if I would, actually I wouldn't be, if I did the dress first and then came and did the lower area, it's easier to get the color of the white onto the purple. So I try to do the lower areas first. So like this apron is higher than the dress underneath it. So that's why we're doing the dress first. If I did the apron first and then I came and did the dress, I'd probably get the dress color onto the apron. Like here where you can see where the carrots are. The carrots are higher than the dress, or the dress is lower than the carrots. So we're getting the dress color on the carrot, which is okay because we're going to do that higher area next, and the green will cover up that purple. But if we did our green first and then did our purple would get on our green. So that's how I decide where to start. And now to break that down additionally, so now we're looking at her dress, and it really doesn't matter if you start down here, down at the bottom, up at the top. I did start on the front. Usually I do like to start on the back though, in case I mess up. It's just easier when you're first starting. You may have too much paint in your brush because you're starting out with a fresh brush. I usually do like to start in the front, and then I try to just have like a plan, and usually so like here I started at the top and I'm just working my way down, and then I'll work around to the back, and then we'll come back and I'll start again where I started first, because that will have dried, and then I'll just work my way backwards on as far as covering up what I already did. So hopefully that kind of explains how I decide which areas to do first. When I first start out, it's picking that lowest area, and then as we get going, like we're working on her dress now, because that's like her fur was the lowest, and now her dress is the next level, and then the apron's the next level, and then the carrot will be the next level. Eyes I usually do last. So hopefully that kind of explains. I mean, that's kind of my, I don't know, that's my practice, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but that's kind of how my technique, I guess you could say. And then I kind of started here, and then I'm just working around. I guess I try to kind of go clockwise. You could have started in the back too. That doesn't matter so much. I think it matters more of what area you start first. Such as the white versus the dress first. Like I wouldn't have wanted to do the apron first, because I would have gotten the purple on the apron when I went to do the purple then. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. So Stephanie says, thanks for explaining. So I hope that helped, Stephanie. So if it didn't, just, you can always message me and we can message back and forth too. So now I'm just going to work my way like right around, and then get that first layer on here, and then we build it up. We don't do it all at one time. We just want nice soft layers. And as we're working our way around now, so now we got to keep going across our Wherever there's crevices and textures, you want to go across those, because that way that will save that darker color that's down in there. If I brushed with those textures or indents or crevices, it would fill them in. So that's why we want to go across them instead of with them. And then Courtney will be right back to tell me what the next question is. Otherwise, I'll have to stop painting and go scanning through it here. But I think she's working on the drawing to get you guys' names in the drawing, whoever posted on the post about the vase. So she'll let me know what our next question is. That was it? Because you said I had a couple.
Well, I probably asked when we were getting if the charcoal had come in yet, and I can't get charcoal.
Oh, so we had a question about when we would get charcoal. We don't know. We're waiting to get that from Mako. It's kind of it's just not in stock, and we've tried like the second month or the third month already.
Yeah,
For sure the second month.
ETA either.
We haven't heard anything about when. So that's kind of wet, so I got to brush that out more. I don't want that to go on that thick or that wet at once. So when it's real wet and shiny like that, that's too much. But it's okay because I can just brush it out and kind of equal it out. So I think charcoal, gray, and ash are our three colors that we've had trouble getting.
Completely out of charcoal and ash.
At this time, we are completely out of charcoal and ash, although we did get our order in last week. So there's just not much we can do about it. I did show you guys last week how you can mix your own like 3 shades of color. So if you want to go and watch last week's video, like at the last 5 to 10 minutes, there's a little demonstration on how you can make your own 3 shades of gray. I can probably do that again tonight since it is an ongoing issue. It's real simple to do.
We can record it too and like post it as a separate video, or maybe they can correct it.
So, but it is at the end of last week's video, but we can do it at the end of this week's video too, just because the gray has been an issue to get. I don't know if it's probably a raw materials problem, I'm guessing. It's just the way it is right now with stuff.
Yeah. Somebody asked about brushes. Brushes are the same boat with brushes.
Cordy says we had a question about the brushes. Brushes are another problem. We're having trouble getting those as well. We just can't get them from the supplier. And I'm guessing with whatever the supply chain issues. It's just we went from the post office issue now to the supply.
That's like all the industries are feeling it.
So like Cordy said, like all industries are kind of feeling. Like I just went to Home Depot and we had put white shelves in our classroom when we had gotten them from Menards, and there's not a single white shelf in the state of Wisconsin. Like the white shelves you would put in your closets. So I actually ended up going to another hardware store, Home Depot. They don't have the exact same ones. They're actually a whole they're not the bullnose rounded edge, they're just the square ones, and then they're a foot longer. They only have one size. So we're going to have to cut a foot off of them, and then we'll take out of one closet and put them into the other closet to combine to make the one closet match, and then the closet with the doors shut, we'll get the new ones that I bought that don't match. But there's just, like if you go through the hardware store or the grocery store, there's just, the stuff just isn't there. And we're having the same problem with paints and brushes. And I believe the sealer, the aerosol sealer is another problem. We're okay on it right now, but because Cordy had stocked up, she kind of figured that was coming with the Mako taking over Duncan. It just takes time to get everything in the production line. And then on top of it, there's supply chain issues of getting materials. So we'll work through it, and I'll just show you guys at the end of the video again, like we did last week, how you can make kind of your own 3 shades of gray, and you just have to make sure you mix up enough of it so you don't run out when you're painting it, because it'll be hard to remix it to get it to be an exact match. That's just the biggest thing when you're mixing colors, is to make sure you make enough of it. And you can always store it in a little plastic container with some kind of lid on it. So that works too. So now I've actually worked our way all the way around to our little front here. So now I'm going to start again where we started when we originally started, and we'll build up that purple. And so now that first layer has dried, so now our second layer goes on kind of nice and easy. And I just want to get in all of our little areas where the underneath dress would be, and just kind of work our way back around.
Bonnie commented she came to the farmhouse a couple weeks ago and you told her about Dunkin' paint, and it's much better, she said, than what she was getting from the store.
Oh, so one of our ladies Bonnie visited our classroom. I think it was like probably a week ago Monday, huh? So probably 2 weeks this Monday. And she asked about paint and purchased some paint, and she's happy with our Dunkin' paint. She's having better luck with it than what she had with the like the box store brands of paint. So the ceramic brand of paint by Dunkin' and Mako and Doc Holliday, and I think there's Donnie's Hughes, and there's some Kimple, and you will find that those paints do work better than your 69-cent acrylic craft paints that are at the stores. Not that, I mean, you can use them, but these definitely do cover better, and they're less frustrating. If someone's having trouble painting, it's usually because they have cheaper quality brushes and paints. Some people will try to use the stencil brushes from the box store, and those have a blunt end on them, and those just don't work for dry brushing. It's just not the same as our boar bristle dry brushes. So it does matter what you're using as your tools, because really they're your tools to finish your projects. And if you have better paint, you're going to be happier and less frustrated. But you can use those other ones. I'm not going to say that they don't work, because they do work. I mean, I've had to use those. One example would be for the color, the purple Viking color. There is no ceramic brand with that shade of purple, and I've used it, but it's frustrating to get it to cover, and it takes a lot of coats, and so sometimes there is a shade that you just can't get or mix, and you can get it with the cheaper stuff, but you probably use a lot more, and it's a lot more frustrating. But they will work. I'm not going to say that they don't work, but they maybe just a little more of a challenge to them. So we're just building up our purple on our little girl here, and we worked our way around, and now we're going to work our way back around. I want to make sure I get the bottom a little bit, because we want to keep that bottom looking as good as the rest of it.
Lisa asked, is aerosol sealer good forever? She has some that's really old, and she's wondering about it.
So we have a question, does aerosol sealer last forever? I don't know that it lasts forever. If it hasn't been frozen, it's going to last longer. If it got froze, it may not be any good. I've had it where it's a couple years ago old. When you spray it, and if it's kind of chunky when it sprays like, not chunky, but maybe like it makes like a dust, little particles on your piece, then obviously it's no good. I would spray, so Cordy was just saying to do a test piece. Yep, I would spray it on something else first that you didn't care if you messed it up, just to see if it's coming out okay, and that there's it's not giving a funky layer, like there's little particles of dust in it. And I don't know if that's just the chemicals in it that get kind of turned to solid form. That's probably the best thing to do, is to just spray something else first, and you can see if it's going to seal your piece okay instead of wrecking your piece. The only one I've really ever had trouble with that was the what they called the porcelain sealer before. I know that can get old, and that for sure would have a cloudy and a kind of a sandy look to it. So I know that one particular could get old, but we don't have that anymore. They're calling that the matte now, which I don't know if it's the same exact product or not, but it's just the flat finish that we're able to use now. But if you're ever unsure about if something's good or not, test it on a piece that you don't want to wreck. That's not your most valuable piece that you're working on before you put it on your piece that you are working on. We're just working our purple in here, leaving you can see our brown down in our crevices for our shading. And just working our way right around her. So we started on the front and we're working our way around the back and then back to the front. Just want to get a nice even coverage. We don't want to see any of the brown through our purple, so it'll take a few layers of the purple here to get that built up. We just want to see our brown down in our crevices where our shading is. And we just keep grabbing art and brushing it out and then working our way around. So now I have kind of a little shiny spot here. That's because I had too much paint at one time and it kind of made it wet, and now the paint don't want to stick there, so I'm actually going to have to let that dry really well. So that's that spot right there. So if you ever have it's drying now, but it was shiny, so I just need to let that dry, and when I come back around I'll be able to build that purple back up on there. But that's what happens when you have your paint's too wet, when you're not really dry brushing it, you're just getting it wet and it's kind of smeared it. We're working our way around back to the front.
He'll ask if the brush-on sealer is as good as the aerosol sealer.
So we had a question if the brush-on sealer is as good as the aerosol sealer. Sure. That's just more of a personal preference. Some people just prefer one over the other.
The brush-on works on like eyes and your claws and stuff.
So Cordy says that the brush-on works on eyes and claws. So that's, again, it's kind of a personal preference thing. I kind of prefer the aerosol sealer, but then I do like for animal eyes, or their like if it's a cow or horse with hoofs, I like to use the brush-on gloss sealer on those specific areas because it just gives them that wet look when you use the gloss sealer on them. So, and then I actually like the matte sealer on my animals. So it's personal preference. So like on my animals, I like a matte sealer. On my snowmen and penguins, anything snowy, I like the satin sealer where it's got a little bit of a shine to it, so it has that icy wet look. Gloss sealer, I don't use aerosol. I don't use very much. I tend to use that on piggy banks when I have piggy banks orders because it makes them look like they've been glaze fired, and I can do a lot more detail painting on those with the acrylics versus the glazes. So the brush-on sealer is as good as the aerosol sealer. It's just more of a personal preference and what you're using it for. And the brush-on does come in matte and gloss as well. So it kind of depends what you're doing, and what you like. If you're putting things outside, you're going to want to reseal them every year or every two, whether it's the brush-on or the aerosol. I like to reseal my things every year or two.
Christy had a good tip with non-ceramic.
So we had a lady that was at the shop on Saturday, and she does a lot of wood painting and things, and I guess more of the decorative painting. She paints on milk cans and ironing boards, and she will actually purchase the clear aerosol paint in the spray can, and will paint seal, give her pieces a coat of that
every year.
Every year.
Or if they're dull.
or if they get dull, because like if something's out in the sun for a while, it tends to get dull. So she actually uses the clear aerosol paint to do that. So I'm guessing you could probably use that on ceramics too, but I'm not sure, so I'd have to try it out to see, to make sure it doesn't yellow your piece. Anytime you're using if you're not using like the Dunkin' brand or a ceramic brand of sealer, you want to make sure that it's not going to yellow your piece after it's been outside for a while, or even inside if it's sitting in the window, because sometimes the sun can turn things yellow if it doesn't have the right sealer on it.
Kathy asked, is there a sealer that works best for outside use?
So we have a question, is there a sealer that works best for outside use? Well, probably the best option is if you have access to a kiln, you can underglaze and glaze your pieces inside and out. That's actually your best option for pieces that are outside. But you would still want to bring them in every year and inspect them for any chips, and then seal those chips if they would get a chip, because you don't want that moisture to get in. But as far as like the best sealer, I would say the glaze and the underglazes, and then your next option is your aerosol sealer. By the ceramic company, would be my suggestion. You can I've also used the Thompson's water sealer. That's for clay and tile, and that's what we used on the inside of your stepping stones for that stepping stone box. And I also use that on my any of our mosaics that go outside.
But you wouldn't put it over paint.
But Cordy asked if you wouldn't put it over paint. No, you can put it over paint.
Oh, you can put it.
Yep. So the Thompson's water sealer. So that would be another brush on sealer that you can use.
Make sure you're getting the right one.
Right, just make sure you're getting the right one, because there's several brands of the Thompson water sealer. So it's not the right brand, but the right product. Because there's water sealer for wood and water sealer for different things. So I get the Thompson's water sealer that is for brick and tile. And that's an outdoor sealer. And that would have to be brushed on. Unless you're maybe doing a really big project, you could probably put it in like a paint sprayer and spray it if you had a whole bunch of things to do. But I generally use our Dunkin' aerosol sealer. There used to be a project, I think it was called Gare. It was called All Weather. It actually put kind of a rubbery layer over your outdoor pieces that you sealed, and that was really nice, but they don't make that anymore. And that was really good. It was just like a clear rubber coating that went over your piece. But again, they don't make that, and I haven't really come across anything that's close to that. Okay, so we got our little girl all done here with purple. And from our purple, we are going to go with lilac. So let me grab our lilac, which is OS 450, Courtney Lilac OS 450. And we're going to give that a shake because it's been sitting here all week. And we'll get a little pile of that. And I got to shake it up a little more because that came out really thin. So we'll give it a good shake. So now with our lilac, we have more at the top and less as we go down. We kind of did a little ombre thing on her, so we'll start up here and work our way down. And we'll grab a new piece of paper towel. And I'm going to use my same dirty brush because we're already in the purple family, so that's going to just give us a nice gradual change of color as we're working down her. So again, I'm going to start on the back just because I'm starting with a new color. And I do usually like to start on the back just in case I have too much paint in that brush. So now I'm brushing really, really light because I don't want that to go on too heavy at one time. I want a nice soft look to it. And you can go back and forth. When it's a really smooth surface, I tend to do that C stroke or the backwards comma stroke. It just kind of blends that paint down into that bottom layer a little bit easier. So I brushed that out a couple times because I just didn't want it to go on too heavy here. And we'll work it down her sleeves. Again, we're going across that crevice there. And you can brush, you can see you can brush back and forth or whatever your preference is. There's not a right or wrong. Do what works for you. So I think we have a few more boxes if anyone wants to get in on the fairy house boxes yet. So you can see that was really wet. That's too much paint. We can brush that out. Courtney says there's a surprise in the box. Do I know what the surprise is?
Maybe not.
Maybe not, really? Okay. I guess I'll have to talk to...
If you were paying attention when we were packing, yeah.
I guess I'll have to talk to Courtney when we're done because I don't have no idea what the surprise is. I'll have to get a box, I guess.
Yeah, you'll find out when you get your box.
Courtney says I'll know when I open the box. Okay, well, that is something. I don't know what it was because we're past Easter. I was cleaning too many rabbits to pay attention to what was...
Fairies.
Oh, fairies to see what was going in the boxes. So we kind of did that arm, and now we're going to work our way on the back here. And over to the other arm. So we'll have it a lot more lilac up at the top and then less as we get down. So it all depends how far down you want to go with your lilac. But I tend to get one layer on the whole area where I want it. And then I'll come back and strengthen the top half of it.
No, it's not food.
Courtney says, no, it's not food. I don't know what it was. I guess I missed it completely.
You ordered it, or did I order it?
Well, you must have ordered it because I don't know. Is it from Glazers?
No. You can't guess. You just gotta wait.
I can't guess. I gotta wait. Oh, good grief. Okay, who's got their box? Let us know what's the extra in your box that she's surprising. Oh, she says I can't spoil it either. Oh my goodness. We'll find out next week. Well, that is something. So we're just working our lilac from our top down, and I'm going to get lighter now as I'm getting down to the bottom here because I want it to be less down here. I'm not going to go the whole way, probably like 2/3 of the way. Probably right through where the folds are here. But it'll get less as I get down to those folds. And then more up here at the top. Guess I'll have to pay attention when I'm at the classroom tomorrow to see what she's packing in the rest of those boxes.
You were there when we were packing it, and we talked about it.
That don't mean I noticed it. I don't pay attention to all that stuff.
Paula says she met some of our other subscribers at Ocean Lakes.
Oh, well, that's cool, Paula, that you met some of our other subscribers.
That's awesome.
You guys can travel and visit with each other.
They got a road trip here.
Oh, Courtney says a road trip here. So I'm just coming around to the front here a little bit on the
She's in Ohio too.
on this left side, and I'm just coming kind of down to where the fold is, but I'm keeping it real light down there so it kind of fades into the purple color. And then I'm going to bring it around the back here, but you can see it's a lot more lilac up here and then less as we get down, and that's exactly what I want, just to give it that nice ombre look to it, that faded look. And now we're going to just kind of turn it here and go to the other arm, get this arm. You could have even done that on the arm too, but I didn't. What else is going on, Courtney?
I think I'm sleeping Sunday and Monday.
Courtney says she thinks she's sleeping Sunday and Monday. I tend to want to agree with you.
God, yeah.
Oh, I get the second flu shot tomorrow at 12:15. How's
Maybe
that?
I will sleep for 2 days.
I might be sleeping Saturday. You might be pulling shop hours yourself.
It'll be a community effort.
Courtney says it'll be a community effort. Hopefully it's easy peasy, no problem. So we'll see tomorrow. So I'm just getting it built up more on our arm here, and then coming down onto the bottom, kind of right where the little fold is, and then less as it reaches the fold. So you can see it's more white up or more lilac here, and then less and less and less as it gets down. And it's kind of patchy and ugly looking, but we're going to build that color up. We just have to keep going with it. So now I'm back around to the front, and I need to get up in my little areas here in the front, and I don't want to have too much paint on my brush. And we're going to do the little collar and the little bib that's in the front there. I don't know what Courtney's doing. It sounds like she's tearing up the place behind me, you guys.
I'm tired.
She says she's tired.
It's a long early morning and late nights.
Yep. And we got one little corner in here underneath the birdhouse to do. I'm just brushing real light, building up our lilac. You see I go from one area and then I come back because that little area dried now, just in that little, and then go back over here. And now we're back to our, where we started. So so when I look at this, I can still see a lot of purple through my lilac. So I don't want that, so I'm going to come back here and build this up a little bit more. So dry brushing is just lots of layers. I'm just building them up a little at a time. I'm brushing real light. I see the daffodils are up at my house. They're probably like 6 inches tall, but they're not blooming yet.
They're blooming here.
They're blooming down here, though, all over the place. But I think mine are later ones, too. And we have stuff blooming at the classroom. I'll have to take, hopefully I have time to walk around and take a few pictures and get those posted.
Tomcat will make his debut.
Tomcat was there when I stopped and got the vase today, so. And he was there Tuesday night. He showed up late.
I was there so late that he went to bed.
Oh, well.
Yeah, he didn't even get put up.
So I'm just working on her little arm here and bringing that lilac color up more. And now I'll come over to her dress and we'll work on that. We're having rain now for the next couple days, I think. But it looks like the weeds have sprouted in my flowers and I didn't get the preen out there, so it's pretty early here for, usually I don't get that out till the middle or end of April, but it's it really warmed up for a couple days and it really made everything sprout. I'll have to go with the Roundup now. So, or some kind of weed killer. So I'm just brushing here back and forth on my other little sleeve. The daylilies are really growing. Everything's really growing. They're even closer I got to Courtney, the greener it almost seems like the leaves are ready to come out. And usually that's like the middle of May for us before the leaves are greened out really good on the trees. So I guess we're having an early spring. As long as we don't get a snowstorm, yep. And get 24 inches like we did a couple years ago. So now I'm going to work on my dress area here, and I'm going to have it more lilac up here, and then keep it that faded out as it goes down. So I have to brush really, really lightly to do that. And just keep going back and forth. Kind of building it up.
Chris said she had snow, rain, wind, and sunshine today.
Well, that was quite the day. Snow, rain, wind, and sunshine too. Hopefully no ice. That's what I don't like this time of the year. All the little flowers will get froze off. Yep. And then all the little apple blossoms and cherry blossoms and all that get froze up, and then there's no fruit either. But I think it's just a nice early spring, hopefully. Courtney didn't get her chocolate rabbit. I didn't get to the store to get her chocolate rabbit that she was waiting for. Did Jason get you one?
No.
No?
Nobody got me any chocolate.
No chocolate. Oh boy. You poor thing. So now we're getting down to the bottom, so I'm going lighter here. I just want to build this up just a little bit more on the bottom, just to bring it a little bit lighter. But not much. I'm still kind of focusing on this middle part to get that covered yet. And then we're coming back to the arms because those have dried now in between. We really kind of have the purple just kind of closer to the crevice, and then our lilac kind of coming up to that, so we have a nice shaded look there. And you can see you can turn your piece around. That doesn't hurt as long as you can get your paint where you need to get it. So can you see the post, what kind of things everyone's looking for? I looked earlier, but I see a couple ladies are looking for that Halloween, I think it was a cat with a witch's hat. I don't know if we have that or not, but I think I've seen it and we didn't get it. I didn't think that would be a... Right? I didn't really think it was a wanted thing. Let's see, what else? There was
that sword you passed out.
Yeah, so I think I've seen a nativity scene listed. What else was there? Courtney's going to look to see what else you guys listed off that you're looking for.
You tell them what you're now looking for?
Well, Courtney said, did I tell you guys what I'm looking for now? I've always been looking for it. I just haven't found it. It's a bell mold, Bell, and it's a naked lady. She's sitting on her legs. Kind of called a pinup girl. One arm is up over the head, kind of. It's probably like it's going to be probably 2 pieces to the mold. I think her 2 or 3 pieces. I think her bottom and her top might be different pieces, and then her arm. But I made her into a mermaid, so I would like to actually do that again. But it is a naked lady, so that's... I think they used to make them into lamps, too. So it's going to be a bigger piece, and it's also an old mold called by Bell, Bell.
So we're still looking for a minx tree.
Oh, the minx tree. Yep, that's that lava tree. Oh. Yeah, I would love to find one of those, too. So Lisa's looking for the minx tree. And then I look for like the couple other things I usually look for is any Clay Magic welcomes. But you can order those, so those aren't like
digging for treasure.
They're not like digging for treasure that you'd never find it. That minx tree is kind of digging for a treasure, because I don't think the company's still active, but like supposedly that you can't get through to them and get any pieces made. I don't know what the deal is with them, but what else is out there?
A few people are looking for a Gare Farmer Santa, I think.
Oh, Courtney says, yep. We have a bunch of the Gare Santas, and we do have the Farmer Santa.
Okay, I'll go look. It's one of your subscribers, I think.
Oh, okay. So yep, I did see that there was quite a few people looking for Gare Santas, and we have a good selection of Gare Santas now. If you're a subscriber, they're once we get it, they actually need to get logged and everything. They're still sitting on a pallet. We just unloaded those last 3 truckloads onto a pallet, and now we're getting that storage unit, so those will be getting moved and we'll know what exactly we have. But I do know we have the farmer Gare Santa. We have the woodland one. We have the German one riding the horse. Someone was looking for the horse ones.
Denise is looking for a Gare Santa holding animals. You know, if that's a farmer one or a different one.
So Cordy says Denise is the Santa holding the animals, the farmer one, or a different one? Because there's a woodland one. We have the woodland one. We have like 3 different ones where he's holding with the reindeer. We have a really good selection of the Gare Santas right now. We have probably about 6 of the big 18-inch ones, and then the rest are the 10-inch ones. So I'm just kind of building up my lilac here, getting it stronger up on the top half, and you can see it's almost solid coverage, and then as it comes down, it's fading out lighter and lighter. So I'm going to bring it down just a little bit more, just to get it just a little bit lighter. And on the bottom here, just a little bit, not much. The poinsettia tree I always look for when we're looking. I mean, there's things I always look for when we go mold hunting, like those Clay Magic Welcomes, those Christmas trees. We were close to getting the poinsettia one like a year ago, but then someone else kind of beat me to it. So
you showed them where it was.
Well, because they said they were getting all the Christmas stuff, so we couldn't just take it, so we had to leave it.
Lisa's looking for the South Carolina State Santa.
South Carolina State Santa, I didn't see that one. We have like the Northwest one and the Southwest one. The pine cone one, the woodland one.
Somebody asked what the minxie tree is.
So the minx tree is
Shannon
asked what the minx tree is. So it's a tree. It's called different things. Sometimes it's called the orbit tree, the lava tree, or the minx tree. It's very vintage, probably from the 50s, 60s. It kind of looks like a lava flowing type tree.
Lisa said it was from the 60s.
60s, yeah. Very, very vintage. It's just kind of cool. There's another tree too that's made out of like all of the vintage Christmas balls. I'd love to find that one too. I've never seen that one anywhere though. We do have the Gare, I think it's Gare, teddy bear one and the snuggle one, I think it is. We do have 2 big trees, and then I think we have the Easter egg tree too with the bunnies on it. I'm just getting my top a little bit more coverage of my lilac, so I'm not seeing the purple through on this main area, and I'm just kind of letting it over here in the shading, the shadow part of the arms, underneath the arms. Let's see, what else do I usually look for any train stuff, penguin stuff. Those Kinsey molds, I usually look for any of the Kinsey molds. They're kind of hard to come by though.
Do you know if our farmer Santa's holding a pig?
So Cordy asks, is our farmer Santa holding a pig?
Sure.
I would guess it would be because it is the farmer Santa. Oh, we have the list. Yeah, we can pull it when we put it on move it from one storage shed to the other.
Do you know if the poinsettia tree has a base? I think it has a base that goes with.
Nope, I think the tree is part of the base. I think I've heard that. I'm just getting my lilac on my sleeves here a little bit more. And then on the front here a little bit more on the bottom part.
She's looking for more inserts for the truck.
Oh.
We have all of those.
Yep, so we have someone's looking for the inserts for the truck. We have all the inserts for the trucks.
These are the new ones.
Including the new truck. And I did pour them one time. The molds need to dry just a little bit more yet.
They were really wet.
Yep, Cordy said they were really wet. They were really wet. I poured the big frog once, and now he's just as wet again. So I just wanted to get one pour out of him at least here, so we could see what he looked like. But I have the dehumidifier running on those and a fan, so it's just, and then of course it's not as cold here anymore, so the furnace isn't running as much, so then that takes a little bit longer too for them to get dried out. And I really don't want to plug in the electric heater because it'll cook me right out of the house.
Oh, the kiln was terrible the other day.
Yeah.
I was sweating.
So I'm just going to work my way back around here one more time, just build it up a little bit on the top area here, a little bit.
The Snuffy Sleeping Dragon?
Snuffy Sleeping Dragon. I haven't seen that one. Someone's looking for that. You guys can always post pictures of that stuff on there too, because then if we're mold digging or someone else is, maybe you'll end up finding it. Someone will help come across it. You never know. Because I'm sure the cat with the hat we've seen and passed on more than once. So I'm just going to do just a light layer now on my bottom part of my lilac, just barely kissing it, just to give it just a little bit of that lilac touch to it, so it kind of like all blends together. And that was too much right there, but it's there now. We can go back over that with our light purple, and that'll tone that back down where I got too much of it.
Mary asked if there's different size trucks.
So
the Clay Magic truck is smaller than the Maple truck.
So we have a question about, are there different size trucks? So Clay Magic's trucks, the Jalopy, the Classic, and then the new 55 are pretty much the same size, and they all fit the Clay Magic inserts. The Clay Magic, the Mako truck is smaller.
No, it's bigger. The Maple truck is bigger than the Clay Magic truck.
Well, one of them is smaller. Courtney's saying that the Mako truck
that has the inserts is much bigger.
I don't know. So Courtney says the Mako truck that has the inserts is bigger than the Clay Magic one. I don't know. The one I know of is a lot smaller.
That's
So.
not the one that has the inserts.
Nope, it does not have inserts. But I don't know what the measurements are on the Mako
It's much larger.
truck. Well, like an inch larger or 10
Yeah,
inches larger?
Like, there's bigger. I seen a picture of them in comparison, and it trumps it.
So I don't know about the Mako truck size, actually.
And the inserts don't work between the two brands.
And Courtney says the inserts don't work between the two brands. I would guess if they're different size, it's not going to work.
Yeah, Marianne said the Mako truck is a lot bigger.
Okay. So we do have the Clay Magic, all three of those trucks, and then all their inserts. So I don't know that we'd get the Mako one or not.
I don't really care for the inserts that much.
There's only a couple inserts, so that would kind of be a drawback to it. So I'm just using my purple now, and I'm starting from the bottom and then working my way back up, because I had a couple of areas that I got too much lilac on, and I just want to kind of even that out a little bit. So now she's got a nice ombre looking little dress here. So that's where we're going to let that off at. And now we can dry brush her apron azalea. What time are we looking at here? I'm guessing it's kind of flew by on us.
8:05.
Huh?
8:05.
8:05, okay.
Do a drawing with that.
So we're going to, we'll start with our azalea, and then we're going to do a drawing at the end, and then I'm also going to show you guys how you can mix up your charcoal, ash, and gray shades of your own, since that is a problem to get. So I do have azalea OS 559, and I don't know when that supply issue will be resolved, of course. We've ordered them 3 times and haven't gotten them, so we just got to keep working with it. So OS 559 azalea, so I gave that a good shake because it's been sitting here. We'll get a little pile of that. Because I am changing colors, I'm going to go to a new brush. I have a size 3 here. And again, it's a flat one. I like the flat one because we have these little straps, and I can turn this on its side to get those straps. So I'm going to grab a little bit of azalea and work it into my brush here.
Kathy asked if you could show what the brush you are using
Oh, so this is the same as the last one. So it's a Royal and Langnickel boar bristle brush. This is a flat brush. Let me see if we have a round one here. I don't have any round one, Courtney.
I don't like to do the face brushes. I just have the one in the.
I was going to show them a round one versus a flat one in a 3, but I don't have a 3 round. That must be a 5, isn't it? Oh, I don't know. So this is a round brush, and this one's actually pretty worn, but I like them when they get worn too. But you can see a round brush, there's just more to it. The flat brush, it has a skinny. You can turn it and use the skinny side, or you have the flat, wide side. I kind of been favoring the flat ones lately. Just because there's like little detail areas here, and so now I can turn this brush on its edge and brush back and forth on there instead of going the wide way and getting the pink all over the purple. So it's just a Royal and Langnickel size 3 flat, which you could use around also. This is our part of our starter brush set. Do you have a full set though?
No.
We couldn't get all the brushes to make a full set.
I'm low on the little brushes. And I'm out of the size 3 flat, and I might be out of 3 round.
So we're out. We haven't been able to get the 3 round and the 3 flat for that set. But we're waiting to hear from them when we'll be able to. But there's just the Royal and Langnickel. It's kind of a starter set. Their next brush would be the interlock brush. Do you have those?
I do, but I can't.
And we haven't been able to get those either.
I can't get the full set.
So it's kind of again, the supply chain issue that's going on. So this is the next up quality, I guess you could say, brush by Royal and Langnickel. This is called the interlocked brush, and this is the round brush. So when you get them, they have sizing in them, and you can run your fingers through and break that up, or you can wash them and let them dry before you're going to use them. But again, this is a boar or hog bristle brush, so they're kind of stiff. But this is a better quality brush than the blue handled brush. It's the turquoise, but we've been having trouble getting them also. So brushes are just kind of an issue right now.
He's gonna send what he has basically.
Our brush distributor is going to send us what he has. And then that's all we can do until all these supply chain issues get resolved here between COVID and, people being out from COVID and not working, and places being closed because of COVID and supplies not being shipped here. I mean, we had the ship stuck in the Suez Canal, and it's just one thing after another. So,
She's new to dry brushing.
Oh, okay. Well, you're welcome. So we do carry brushes on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bis.com, right? They're on there, right, yet?
Yeah, but please don't go there.
But Courtney says, please don't go there. There's not much there.
No, I don't know if there.
Oh, she don't know. She hasn't looked lately, but we did just get a brush order, but we didn't get a lot of what we ordered, so it's just really hard with everything. So we normally have a brush sale in April. But we haven't been able to do that because we can't get the brushes to do it.
Usually for Black Friday.
But we did them in April too, and then we did the second sale is usually for Black Friday. So we do have brush sales like twice a year, April and then Black Friday. But this year we haven't been able to do April because we can't get the brushes. It's just an issue getting brushes. But the dry brushes, if you're going to get dry brushes, you want a boar or hog bristle. And they're kind of a stiffer bristle. Some brands can be stiffer than others. It just really depends what you like. I kind of like the Donna brushes, dry brushes. Those are nice. They're kind of a soft dry brush. They're a little bit harder to get to as well, and they do come in the shorter handles too. But we haven't been able to get those either. So it's just a lot of supply chain issues going on right now. Hopefully things get better as summer goes by and everything gets back on track here again. So I'm just dry brushing back and forth on this little apron. I started at the top and I'm working my way down the sides and across the bottom and then back up the center, and then we're going to let that little area dry. And we'll come over here to the little apron on the side here. And you can turn it in different directions. I'm not doing big back and forth strokes because I don't want to get that pink all over my purple. I'm just doing little kind of one-way strokes starting on the edge and bringing it in. And it's okay if it gets on the carrot because the rust will cover that up. So now I have that little area all covered. So now we want to actually work our way around and get her little strap that's coming around her neck. So this is where I can turn that flat brush on its side. So now I have that on its chisel edge. I have that nice skinny brush I can use. So even though I just need to use one brush, I don't have to switch to a smaller brush just by using that flat brush and turning it on its side for this little skinny area. And again, I'm not doing big back and forth strokes so that I get it all over my rabbit. I'm just going right up to the edge, the top and the bottom of that little collar on there. And that lets my brown down in my crevices. You could do those bigger strokes, but then you'd have to come back and kind of touch up your white. So I'm just doing little strokes, and then I do tend to hold up the brush further when I'm doing those little delicate touches instead of way down. I kind of move my fingers up the brush handle more. It just kind of gives that lighter touch when you're doing it. So now we have that, the back done. So now we have one layer all the way around. So I'm going to come back around here to the front. So now when I look at this and I think, geez, do I need more or is it done? And that's a lot of people's questions. Like they don't know when enough is enough. So when I'm looking at this, and I'll try to move it up, you can see it looks very spotty, like here, or blotchy. Here's more pink. Here I can see the brown. Here I can see the brown. Here we got more pink. I can see brown. So I don't want it all patchy or splotchy or blotchy looking. I want it more of an even coverage. So when we look at our finished one, you can see it's more even, and there's a lot more pink and less brown. So that tells me that because I can see through my pink and see a lot of brown, I want to give that another coat. And I'm basically letting that brown around my edges. So I'm going to build up that pink a little more. And that's where my little bit more comes from. And they hear it at the classroom all the time. So much that we have a sign up on the wall.
I know they can't hear someone mention closed captioning. I have it enabled, but it hasn't been working since we put the last update.
Oh, so Cordy says she has the closed caption enabled, but ever since the last update, it hasn't been working on our page. I know Michael Harbridge had it working on his page, so I'm not sure why it's not working on our page.
He might not have been through the update yet.
Oh, so Cordy said he might not have had the update yet.
He's on his personal.
Oh, and he's on his personal page. Oh, that's why. The business pages were updated.
Yeah, the personal pages weren't, but the business pages were.
So the business pages were updated. Facebook did a big update here, like
a major update.
2 to 3 weeks ago, because we had all kinds of changes, and it was really a headache.
Like if you look like our likes are gone, like they're removing a lot of stuff.
So hopefully they get the closed caption back on, because that's kind of a benefit for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just building up my azalea here, kind of coming along the edge of my apron, not doing big strokes so that I get my purple all full of azalea. And we're just going to grab some more. And I'm just going to brush really lightly back and forth here along this edge. And I start away from my edge and work towards where I want my azalea to end. That way I can kind of see where it's ending, but I'm still letting my brown down in that deepest part of that crevice, so it's giving my lighter color, my pink, the shading that it needs, which makes that look more dimensional on my piece. Makes that apron kind of look like it's standing out more. And we'll work our way right around the bottom. And I'm actually, I'm not doing the wide part. I'm doing it on that chiseled edge again, just to have more control of how much paint is going on, or where the paint is going. And then where it's still, where I can still see brown, I'm kind of adding more azalea to it just by brushing on it.
They took away the watch party feature too.
Cordy said they took away the watch party feature on us too, which I don't know if anybody used that or not.
We did when it was like a snow day or something.
Oh, we used that for our snow days. Okay, so now what are we going to do?
I'm not sure.
Well, maybe they'll create something new. So now we have the little main part of the apron done, and we're going to come over here to our little side piece and get that pretty pink. And you just brush on it real lightly, trying to get that paint right where you want it to go. And I'll come back up to the little straps and build that up a little more because that's dried while we worked on the rest of it. And now we can come back to the back and do her little apron strap here again. So it's raining pretty good here, you guys. I can hear the rain coming down. I don't hear thunder though. We're just going to turn it on its edge so we're not, if we had it on the wide, I'd be getting paint all over. Otherwise I could switch to a smaller brush too, but I'm going to just stay with this same little brush and just turn it on its edge.
Kathy said she's happy she's found us.
So Cordy says, Kathy says she's happy she's found us. We're happy all of you guys found us because we're enjoying what we're doing and sharing what we know, and
There's a ton of videos on there.
helping to get ceramics kind of back in the groove to people that are interested in it again, because there's not many people out there. There's very few shops that you can go to get help. If you go to our video tab, we're going to have almost 2 years of videos on there coming up. So we've been here for a while, and we're not going away no time soon as far as I know. So we'll keep at it. There's no charge for them, and you don't have to buy the boxes to watch them. They're just there for anyone. It's just helpful for those that do get the boxes and don't have a local store or shop to go to or someone to help them. So that's kind of why we're doing those, and if you can't get the bisque, that's why we do the boxes to ship the bisque too. So they just kind of go hand in hand. So now when I look at my apron, I can see that my pink is covered pretty good on there. I have my brown down in my crevices. So I think we're at a good stopping point for tonight, so I can show you guys how to do your mix up gray for you. So we will take our foil, and you basically just need your black and your white. And we're gonna, if you want, so usually I like, when we look at our grays, I like to have a light, medium, and dark. So let's see, what do we got here? We have a light, medium, and dark. So we have our charcoal, our ash, and our gray. So we have a dark value, a medium value, and a light value. So that's what we want to accomplish when you're mixing your colors. So to do that, you'll want, and I'll just do little piles because I don't want to waste the paint because I'm not painting anything with charcoal here tonight. So you'll want to make 3 piles. 1, and these are really little piles, so you'll want to make yours a lot bigger so that you have enough. And then we're going to take our black, and this is because we can't get those grays. And we had our palette knife, I think, in our January box. So we're going to put, it kind of squirted out, so we're going to put just a little bit of black by one, a little bit more by the next one, and then a lot more by this one. So look, I'm going to start mixing my darker one first. And it's good to use your palette knife instead of your brushes so you're not wrecking your bristles in your brushes. And you just want to mix it up really, really well. And you can do this with anytime you have a color you can't get. Say you had azalea and you wanted 3 shades of azalea. You could do the same thing with azalea. Say you wanted, you had purple but you didn't have lilac, you could do the same thing with your purple, just add a little bit of white to it. You wouldn't be adding black, but to get gray we have to add the black. So we're just going to mix that up really good. And again, you'd want to mix plenty of it so that you have enough to finish your project. And now we'll go to our next one. And I got a lot of black in there the way it looks. Probably more than I wanted. So we got that one mixed up. Now I'm actually going to wipe my thing off before I go into my last one. So hopefully this one's a little bit lighter. And it's always good to use your light color first. So if I was doing, say I wanted azalea lighter, I would make 3 piles of white and then add the azalea as I did the black. If you put that black color first, you can imagine it would have took a ton of paint to get that 3 shades, because it doesn't take much of that dark color in your white to get it built up. So we have a nice light gray. We have our medium gray is kind of close to our dark, so I'm just going to add a little bit of white to it. Just add a little bit at a time. So we're going to try to lighten that one up and get a middle shade here. So that's more of my middle shade. And then if you wanted your other one, last one, the charcoal, just a little bit darker, we're going to add just a little drop of black here, just to darken that up just a little bit. So I added another little drop. You can see that's not much, but that's going to do a lot. So you can still go back and adjust your colors, but basically you start with three piles of white, add a little bit of black, a tad more black, and then a tad more black. So now you can see we have our 3 shades of gray here, which is so we have our dark color. It could be just a little bit darker if you wanted. I mean, don't have to be that perfect. Here's our middle, and then there's our light. So we're pretty close. We could add just a little more black to this one if we wanted. And you can look at I think Courtney included the non-fired flyer, so you could kind of refer to those if you didn't have any of these colors before. So now you can see if you're a subscriber anyway. If you're a new subscriber and you need one, let us know, because she included it in the boxes earlier, but I think this month she didn't. So now we have our light gray, our medium gray, and our dark gray. So that's how you can make your own colors. Just start with a nice pile of white, 3 piles of white, and then add a touch of black, and then a little more black, and then a little bit more black yet, and then mix them up, and then you can adjust them after that. But you don't want this little of a pile, because you want to make sure you have enough so that you can finish your project, because it'll be really hard to come back and match that exactly. So that's how you can make any color that you want, just by adding either black or white to it. So if I wanted 3 shades of this purple, I'd make 3 piles of white, add a touch, and then a little more, and then a little more, and then mix them up. That's a good way to make coordinating colors that match each other for your dark, medium, and light. So we'll show it up here, so hopefully you can see that. We have our light, our medium, and our dark, which is equal to our gray, our ash, and our charcoal. And that's just because we can't get that product right now. They're just not available to get shipped. So does Courtney have our drawing for our vase? So this is what we are drawing for. It'll be the bisque for this piece, and it will ship next Wednesday, because Courtney will get it from me on Tuesday. So it will be the bisque for this, and you need a USA shipping address, and whoever's name I draw, you can message us with your address. So everyone that commented on that post throughout today, your names are in here, and I'm gonna mix these babies up. And we're gonna draw one out. And let's see who we have. We have Susan La Virtue. She's looking for the Donna Sweet Tot bunnies. Well, those are cute, Susan. So our winner is Susan La Virtue. Hope I'm not ruining your last name. And it's the Donna's Sweet Tot bunnies that she's looking for. So congratulations to Susan. If you can send us your shipping address, Courtney will mail that bisque out to you on next Wednesday. So we just thought we'd have a little bit of fun with a mold that I've been looking for forever, and I was thrilled to get. So congratulations to Susan La Virtue. So hope everyone enjoyed our night tonight. Oh, I better save that, right?
Yeah.
I better not throw it back in there so you know who gets it. So I think that's about it.
A few people have asked how to follow you. If you click on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque, there should be a blue button, follow button at the top.
Okay, so Courtney said we had a few people ask how to follow us. If you go on Facebook to Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque, and towards the top, there should be a blue button that says follow, and you just click that follow button. And that way, like when Courtney posted today about doing the drawing, or she posted that we're going to have a live, or we post pictures of mold hunting or whatever, all those, you'll see all those little posts then. But it should be towards the top of Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque. There should be a blue thing that says follow. So I guess if you guys enjoyed our night tonight and you enjoyed our free drawing, give us some thumbs up and some likes. And I'm showing you now is our April box that we'll be painting as soon as we finish our Easter bunnies.
You can still order that.
And you can still order these guys. We have the two fairies. That's the twins Ava and Eva. And then the bee fairy house. And Courtney says you guys are asking if you can order the vase. Courtney will have to measure it to see if it'll fit under the cubic foot box, I guess.
It should.
So Courtney thinks it will. So I guess we will be able to ship that then. I don't know if it'll fit in the bisque box with bisque though.
No.
The subscription box, it will probably have to ship separate. But if you're a subscriber, you can get that extra box for $9.99 shipping.
That's under a cubic foot.
Because if it's under a cubic foot, which she thinks it should be,
Yeah.
so she can post what that's going to be.
So if you're a subscriber, the bisque is $26 and the shipping is $9.99 per subscriber.
So Courtney says if you're a subscriber, the bisque itself is $26. And then because you're a subscriber, your shipping is only $9.99 because we cover the extra on it or whatever it is. And you can send us a message if you do want that bisque, and I'll keep pouring that mold then. And we do have greenware and bisque at the we'll have greenware and bisque at the shop, so I'll have to pour a few more, but we'll have it at the shop too. If you're traveling to the shop and you're looking for something particular like that, give us a message so we know you're coming and what you want, so I can make sure I have it for you ahead of time. Or for anything else that you might need. But otherwise, here is our box that we're shipping now, and you can still do a one-time purchase or subscribe on brendasbrushstrokesandbisque.com.
I should finish up shipping tomorrow.
Courtney's hoping to finish shipping tomorrow, and if you haven't heard from her,
It'll still come out tomorrow.
she may need to weigh your box or whatever. You may have had extra bisque or things in it, so that's probably why. And she'll get caught up on messages again over the weekend. And otherwise, you guys have a great week, and thanks for joining us. And we'll see you again next Thursday. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Bye.